I've never thought of myself as a female engineer or founder or woman in tech. I just think of myself as someone who's passionate. This powerful quote resonated with us as a team because passion is the driving force behind success. As women of diverse backgrounds, we each have a variety of skill sets, experiences, and a unique story which led us to becoming returners in the technology field. Sharing the desire to achieve something great gave us the passion to work towards this project. So we welcome you to our presentation and would like to introduce to you our hardworking Mars full stack team of developers, the Tech Gals. My name is Victoria. I help to guide the team as the Scrum Master. I am a graduate of UW-Madison, and I entered into the field of software engineering through IC Stars program, where I first learned to build a web-based app. Now, through the Returnship program, I've expanded my learning in React and unit testing, and I enjoy learning new languages and challenging myself. Thank you.
I'm Ashley. I have a master's in communication from UWM and a background in marketing and event planning. I received a certificate in full stack development in 2019 and recently worked as a front-end developer for a major US retailer. For this project, I served as team lead and front-end developer. In my free time, I play in a euchre league, I volunteer with Friends of Matic, and I'm a huge sports fan. Thank you.
I'm Anam Jabboy. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting. In 2018, I relocated from Nigeria to the US. When I got to the US, I decided to try something new. I started learning how to code until I heard of a program called IC Stars. I was with IC Stars for 4 months. After my program with IC Stars, I started looking for other opportunities to learn and grow. And MARS gave me the opportunity. So for this team, I played the role of a developer and a change manager. So in my free time, I play chess. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Suchitra Sheke. I'm a motivated programmer and software tester with 4 years of professional experience and a master's degree in computer engineering. In my professional break of 5 years, I volunteered at local events and took courses to keep with technology. I enjoy doing puzzles with my kids. I'm a firm believer in sincere teamwork to achieve great end results. I served as a backend developer for this team. Thank you.
Hello all, I am Bhavna Soni. I am a certified QA and an experienced business analyst who is passionate about her work. To continue my passion during my professional break, I took some online trainings and learned some new tools to brush up my skills, along with volunteer services in schools and participated in competitions like First Tech Challenge, First Lego League to keep myself updated. Thank you.
Now that we have introduced ourselves, as a team, we would like to introduce to you the clients. Our client is MARS Solutions Group. MARS is a staffing agency that prides itself on having the best combination of speed and quality, delivering candidates to its clients. MARS delivery team incorporates technical screening for candidates for jobs and has over 150 Martians to aid with the screening service. So now Ashley will explain to you the challenge that we face and how we help to solve that challenge.
Now, let's see where the problem is. Recruiter Andrew has a group of candidates that he's submitting to a DevOps job. They all need to be screened for mid-level DevOps skills. To do this, Andrew has a list of potential screeners in an Excel doc with all their skills listed. Andrew has to manually go through this document to find DevOps screeners with the right experience level. This is very time-consuming. There are many screeners, both internal and those 150 MARS consultants, as well as hundreds of skills. Once found, he has to email the screeners to determine if they're even interested in the screening, and then get their schedules. Then he has to email each candidate to get their availability to ultimately schedule the screening. For CEO Rashi, this is not good. Andrew's spending too much time on administrative tasks, and this is taking away from his ability to do his job, finding great candidates for open positions, and ultimately making MARS money. This can also impact the ability to place candidates. If Andrew's not able to schedule a technical screening and submits a candidate anyway, MARS is compromising on the quality of candidates that are submitted to the client. This does not live up to MARS' driving forces of speed and quality. Rashi has even considered hiring someone to do this administrative work for the recruiters. But Rashi does not have to hire someone because our product will fix this problem. Our product, which we're calling ZIPPY, works like a technical screening Uber. Andrew, our recruiter, can add candidates and jobs to the app. Then our tool automatically matches candidates and screeners based on job family and experience. Just like Uber matches riders and drivers based on location. Tara is a consultant and one of MARS clients with mid-level experience in DevOps. Tara wants to help out MARS and also earn some extra money by performing technical interviews of candidates. Tara will get an alert on her phone anytime a candidate is submitted that matches her job family and experience. For example, Tara will get an alert about those DevOps candidates that Andrew just submitted. Once logged into ZIPPY, Tara can then schedule the interview by adding a time slot automatically to the candidate's calendar. When finished, the screening results are added to the system. This gives Andrew more time to focus on recruitment. This also makes it easier for Tara. Consultants can easily add the app and begin screening right away. Ultimately, this makes Rashi happy. Now that we've explained a little bit about our product, our wonderful BA will show you how we got here.
Ashley explained so well about Andrew's and Tara's problem with the solution. Let us talk about our approach we took to build our product ZIPPY. I played business analyst role on this project. Now let me take you why, how, and what we did to achieve our goal. We picked agile methodology to plan our project. We followed Scrum ceremonies like sprint planning, daily meetings, reviews, retrospectives. We gathered ever-changing requirements from the stakeholders to understand business needs and objectives, created vision documents, business requirement documents, and user stories. Transitioned those into functionality using use cases, process flow, workflow, mockups, wireframe. For team collaboration, we use tools like Jira, SharePoint, GitLab, and after completion of every sprint, we took time to celebrate. Now, Victoria will give you some insight that how the application is built behind the scene.
So, as you can see, this is the architecture structure of the diagram. And I know that there are a lot of pieces here and it's intricate and complex, but we're going to do a brief overview of all the pieces at a higher level. So when you look at this diagram, there are three major pieces. The first major piece at the bottom corner has GitLab instance. This is where we were able to store our code and share our code to work cohesively together as a team. Once changes to the code are made and approved, it gets compiled and deployed through a continuous integration process, which is called the CI/CD pipeline. This gets pushed to production and testing for the world to experience the application. Now, the next piece is the user interface. This is where the user sees and experiences when they load the application. That comes from this exact piece of the architecture. This user interface, it gets info from the services layer. Now, this services layer is the final piece, and it contains all of the data. This is a setup that allows the application to make changes to the data and receive the information behind it. So this is a visual of all the pieces necessary to deploy this app and a quick overview of the architecture. Next, Onam will explain to you in detail the technologies that we used.
So to get this project done, these were the tools that we used. For the authentication, we used Auth0. And for the user interface, that is the front end, we used React.js, we used a little bit of Bootstrap. And for the unit testing, we used Jest. And for the backend, we used Node.js and Express.js and MySQL database. So to share the code among the team, we used GitLab to share the code. Thank you. So right now, I would like to pass it on to Chuchitra.
That was our technology stack. Now let's see some of our groundwork. For any non-tech people, this may be a little dry, but please stick with us. That said, this is the ER diagram of the physical model of our database. This design is in its third normal form. So we started by listing down fields that go into the database, categorizing these fields into their logical tables, establishing the dependencies between fields and tables, and then defining the primary and foreign keys for each of the table. To retrieve and persist data to the database, views and joins have been used. That way, the database was refined from logical model to this physical model. And you see the results here, and that was a glimpse at our database. Now let's take a look at our application demo. Over to you, Ashley.
I'm just going to pull this up here. All right, so this is our app. This is Zippy, and this is where the recruiters can log in. This is where Andrew can log in using Auth0. And this is the recruiter dashboard. Andrew can search for a candidate. He can see candidates that are waiting to be screened, and he can also see all recent screenings. So let's click on Taylor here. From here, Andrew can see all the information he would need from the screening. He can see the candidate information here, the job position the candidate was submitted to, as well as all the screening results. And he can also export this as a PDF. So this is the end result. Let's show how we got here. Andrew can add a job to a system here. Things like client, recruiter, job title, job description. Matching screeners based on every single skill needed for a job and experience level would be not only incredibly tricky, but sometimes not always possible. So we decided to match screeners based on experience level and job family. Example of job family could be front-end developer, full stack developer, DevOps. So Andrew will enter those here. Then Andrew also has the ability to talk about the specific skills needed for that position. So if the job family is front-end developer, Andrew can enter things like if it's React or Angular or Vue or anything like that. So this is how Andrew adds a job to a system. Now we'll show how he adds a candidate to the system, and he can do that here. Pretty basic, first name, last name, contact information. So let's say he's already added a candidate and he's got this candidate, Leslie. And Leslie is ready for her technical screening. Andrew's already interviewed her. He thinks she'll be a great fit for an open job. He really wants to submit her to the client, but he just wants to do a technical screening to make sure Leslie has those tech skills she says she does. When he clicks the add button, this is where he can add all the information that the screener would need to know. He types in that job ID, and then all the job information will auto-populate. He can add the candidate's resume here. He can choose whether she prefers an audio or video screening, and then he can add the candidate's availability right to the calendar here. When Andrew's done, he hits submit, and all the technical screeners that match based on job family and experience will get an alert on their phones that there is a candidate who's ready to be screened. So for example, Tara, our screener, will get that alert and she can log in here again using Auth0. So this is what the dashboard looks like for a technical screener. We can see her name here, her job families, her experience level, and her rating. She can see all the available candidates that are available to be screened. As you can see, she can see Leslie, that candidate that Andrew just submitted. So let's check Leslie out. Tara sees the job description. She can download Leslie's resume. She can see the specific skills. If she thinks it's a good fit, she can click on the calendar here and add a time slot right to Leslie's calendar. Let's go back home. If she did choose to choose Leslie for a screening, Leslie will now show up in her upcoming screenings here. And actually, Tara has a screening coming up right now with Ben. So let's go into the screening here. During the screening, Tara can enter every question she asks the candidate. She can rate the candidate's answers on 1 to 5, and she can also write any notes. She can also evaluate the candidate's communication skills, and she can ultimately say whether or not she would recommend this candidate. When she hits submit, it'll take Tara back to her home, and it will also, all that information will now be in this system for recruiter Andrew to access. So this is what our final product will look like. We've gotten a really good start on it, and I'm gonna sign out now and send it back to Shaticha, who will talk about our deliverables.
So these are the deliverables we worked on for last 3 months, and this did not come without any challenges. Some of these challenges were unique to us as returners, like getting used to working more than full time again, while handling family responsibilities, adjusting our families to new schedules, especially with the pandemic situation going around. While the other challenges were common COVID challenges, we had to build a strong team dynamics in a short period of time while working virtually. You see, it's much easier to bond around water coolers and coffee machines in an office setting, but it's quite a challenge to do so virtually. But I think what made us a strong team was that we went out of our ways to help, teach, and learn from one another. Every one of us were at a different level of technical skills when we started. But I guess the peer support, the mentor support helped us learn a stack of new tools and technologies in a pretty short period of time. We also kept up with the pace by watching videos, Googling, taking Udemy courses, and so on. So this was a little bit about the challenges we faced. Now let's take a look at the future vision for Zippy.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the future of ZIPPY. MARS intends to make ZIPPY available to the marketplace so that way it can be accessible to freelancers, screeners beyond the Martians. As we move towards gig economy, our hope is that it will drive the cost down and quality up. As part of this envisioned future, ZIPPY will be used by clients other than MARS. Like Uber, our product will implement a rating system to check the performance of all the screeners. So right now, I would like to pass it on to Victoria.
This concludes our presentation. We thank you so much for coming to see our presentation and experience this. We want to thank MARS Solutions Group for giving us returners the ability to return back to the technology field. We want to thank the mentors for mentoring us, all of the supporters, and the guest speakers. And now we would like